In the top stories, Challenger's man charged for attempted murder. Youth protest low wages and high prices in Guadeloupe. And driver faces homicide charges for deaths at Wisconsin parade. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Tuesday, the 23rd of November, 2021. I'm Jason Davis. Nationally, the police have arrested and charged 40-year-old Cleon Doyling of Challengers for the attempted murder of Clyde Clark. The offense was committed on November 19 in Challengers. He was charged on Sunday, November 21, and has been remanded to Her Majesty's prison. Reports indicate that sometime after midnight on Friday, Clark was in his outside kitchen when a lone gunman entered the premises and shot at him. He received a gunshot wound to his abdomen. He was transported to the JNF General Hospital where he underwent emergency surgery and is warded in a stable condition. Based on information received shortly after the incident occurred, the police were able to identify and locate an individual who might be able to assist with investigations. Personnel from the forensics department processed the scene and collected pieces of evidence. Telecommunications company Flow has donated several pieces of protective equipment to the Ministry of Health and its frontline workers. In handing over 3,000 latex gloves, 2,700 shoe covers, and 50 face shields, country manager of Flow, David Lake, requested that they be used especially by the Federation's frontline workers, who he commended for the work they continue to do.
Cable and Wireless and Flow, we continue to remain committed to your ministry and the government and indeed the task force for the yeoman's service that you're doing in this fight against the coronavirus. This morning I want to focus on our frontline workers, who I call our unsung heroes. They have been risking their health and indeed their lives daily so that all of us could be safe. And a grateful nation owes you a debt of gratitude, and we all salute you for your efforts.
The donation was received by Minister of Health, the Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet, who thanked Flow for their continued support throughout the pandemic.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lake, and thank you to Cable and Wireless and Flow for the very fine contribution that you made today to us of PPEs. Most definitely, this will be used for our frontline workers as we continue to fight the novel coronavirus. And I also want to thank you because, as you said, it's not just this presentation now, but Flow continues to, I like to say, partner with us in the Ministry of Health in terms of providing us with cell phones when we need it, especially during the height of our outbreak. We added more and more contact tracers. We added more and more case managers. And whenever we called, Flow willingly was able to donate to us.
Lake committed Flow's continued support to the Ministry of Health, as has been done in the past. Rohan Clark, an Atlanta-based gospel artist, is looking to perform in St. Kitts now that he has released his debut album. More in this report from Andre Huey.
An Atlanta-based gospel artist is looking to perform sometime soon in St. Kitts and Nevis after releasing his new gospel album. The Jamaican-born artist in an interview explained that the 14-track album is an eclectic mix of various styles and subgenres, all reflecting the gospel message.
We have Tried Jesus, we have I Am Clay, we have Anytime Now, we have What's Next, we have Prayer, we have One Time, we have Under the Blood, we have I Rise and Destination, we have I Know, we have Happy Paradise, which is a title track, and we have Thick and Thin. Because I have a reason why I wrote all of them. I have a testimony behind all of the inspiration.
In 2008, Rohan Clark won the prestigious Jamaica Gospel Festival competition. Winners of that competition usually go on to establish their gospel music careers, but for Clark, he instead migrated to the US and started his music career all over again. With the album now out, Clark is looking to travel the world and minister, and even has his eyes on the Caribbean.
The plan was to, a day after the launch, I was supposed to be on Gospel Day introducing it to Jamaica. No, because we're not there now, so, and we couldn't go there like immediately after, so we were planning to to just introduce it, all 14 tracks.
And hopefully you can come down these parts as well.
That is a part of the plan.
Yeah.
The album is available in physical CDs and is streaming on all streaming platforms.
We now move to news on the regional scene. The situation in Guadeloupe remains very difficult, according to French authorities, where unrest erupted last week over COVID-19 curbs imposed by Paris, despite Prime Minister Jean Castex's call for calm. Youth are also protesting low wages and high prices. France 24 reports.
In the streets of Pointe-à-Pitre, security forces are deployed en masse. Even a helicopter hovers over the city. Special police personnel were sent in from the French mainland in a bid to restore order and enforce the curfew in Guadeloupe. This after the island was rocked by anti-vaccine protests that descended into riots last week. On Sunday, barricades were still set up in several cities. Here in Morne-à-l'Eau, police are seen using tear gas to push away protesters. Meanwhile, in Le Gossier, these local council offices were vandalised and ransacked. This firefighter is one of the people behind a general strike movement to protest the COVID-19 health pass.
We're opposed to vaccination, to the health pass. We want healthcare to be accessible to everyone. Today our youth is in the street, taking over the movement. The government must respond to their demands.
While mainland France has seen similar protests, demonstrators in Guadeloupe are also angry over deep-rooted economic, social and racial inequality. Young people say they're struggling to get by.
In the last few months, everything has gone up in price. In the shops, everything has gone up. On top of the price of petrol, it's difficult.
1 out of 3 young people in Guadeloupe is unemployed, and more than a third of the population lives with less than 1,010 euros per month. The island's economy is largely dependent on tourism and agriculture, meaning a devastating financial impact from the pandemic.
The Grenadian government has announced plans to institute a fixed price for gasoline and providing relief in residential electricity consumption. These will be fleshed out during their 2022 budget debates on Friday, according to PM Keith Mitchell. GBN News reports.
The government will move to put a fixed price on the cost of gasoline. That will be announced on the budget on Friday.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell strongly hinted at the budget presentation scheduled for Friday as a major turning point in terms of relief for several of the economic issues faced by Grenadians. A hike in gas prices has exacerbated inflationary burdens witnessed via the global food prices increase and overall rise in the cost of living. Prime Minister Mitchell, while speaking to media personalities on Sunday, announced that government intends to now subsidize gas prices.
In other words, we'll have to take a hit, so to speak. And remember, we need revenue to run the country. Government does not get much money from income tax because most people are exempted from income tax from $36,000 upward. So we have to be careful, but government is prepared still because of the seriousness of the situation to cap the price and suffer the consequences financially.
He noted that government is also considering 2 options to provide relief to be reflected on Grenadians' electricity bills, one of which the Prime Minister said is increasing the threshold of value-added tax beyond the first 99 kilowatts of electricity that has been in place since 1994.
So the Minister of Finance again will announce on Friday what that amount will be. So if somebody's bill was say 300 kilowatts, or let's say 4, the first 99 right now, you don't have to pay that. But the other 300 plus, you'd have to pay that. So if he raises it to about 300 kilowatts or VAT for VAT purposes, it means that you would only pay under only 100.
Taking into consideration the loss of revenue and potential shortfalls, Prime Minister Mitchell stated that reducing the non-fuel charge on the consumer's electricity bills is the other alternative. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Internationally, Darrell Brooks, the man accused of deliberately driving his car into a crowded Wisconsin Christmas parade over the weekend, killing 5 people, was suspected in an earlier domestic disturbance and faces 5 counts of first-degree homicide, police said. Reuters reports.
It was just, I guess for lack of better, just carnage, likening it to a war zone.
Waukesha Fire Chief Steve Howard struggled to find the words to describe what he saw after a man rammed his SUV through a Christmas parade in Wisconsin over the weekend, killing 5 people and injuring 48 more, including 2 children in critical condition.
We actually had a squad and barricades up, and he drove right through the barricades and the officers. When the officers tried to engage and stop the threat, he still continued through the crowd.
Waukesha Police Chief Daniel Thompson at a press conference Monday said 39-year-old Darrell Brooks, a Milwaukee resident, had been arrested and will be charged with homicide. Thompson said the incident was not related to terrorism and that police were not pursuing Brooks when he plowed through the parade. But he said Brooks had been involved in a domestic incident shortly before he drove through the crowd. Police got a call reporting that incident, Thompson said, but didn't even get to respond.
Was there initial complaint of a knife being involved? Yes. Do we know if there actually was one there? We don't know, because we didn't even make it there. We ended up immediately responding to the crisis.
Police said the victims who were killed ranged from 52 to 81 years old. The chief said he was on the scene within minutes.
And what I saw out of chaos and tragedy was heroes. First responders and the community coming together and working together on triaging victims, getting these victims to the hospital.
The Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office said Brooks was previously charged with restricting or obstructing an officer, bail jumping, and battery. A $1,000 cash bond was posted earlier this month.
Italy's competition watchdog fined U.S. tech giants Amazon and Apple a total of more than $225 million for alleged anti-competitive cooperation in the sale of Apple and Beats products. Here's more.
Italy has fined tech giants Amazon.com and Apple more than $225 million. The country's antitrust authority accused the US firms of anti-competitive cooperation in the sale of Apple and Beats products. It said a 2018 agreement between the companies meant only selected resellers could sell the products on Amazon's Italian site. The watchdog said that was a violation of European Union rules. Amazon has been fined €68.7 million, or about $77 million. Apple's penalty is nearly double that, at just over $151 million. Both firms have also been ordered to give retailers of Apple and Beats products fair access to Amazon in Italy. Apple denied any wrongdoing and said it planned to appeal against the fine. Amazon called the fine disproportionate and unjustified and said it too would appeal.
And now for the weather. Present weather is fair skies with winds that are from the east-southeast at 6 to 12 miles per hour, becoming variable this afternoon, and calm in most places overnight. The temperature is 29 degrees Celsius or 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Seas are moderate with waves of 3 to 5 feet. The weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis today says it will be partly cloudy and tonight will be mostly fair. Sunset today will be at 5:35 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow at 6:19 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jason Davis.